Are you in a court case with Simon Parkes? If so, how's it going? No. Simon has taken no legal action against me. Ah, interesting. That's not what a CC member, who shall remain anonymous, that should have some idea, told me. They said that you're in hiding following the above. I most certainly am not. I'm going to have to make a video about this, aren't I? I'm MSEEKER of Truth, and I'm back again. And today, I want to look at some of Simon Parkes's recent rhetoric. I'm here with Marie Kayali, again from some of the recent videos I made. Simon Parkes exposed, Simon Parkes the emails. Check those videos out if you haven't seen them. There's a link in the description. I'm joined today with Marie Kayali, who had shared this story with us and who I'd helped to bring to light her story. So yeah, guys, let's hand it over to Simon Parkes and let's look at what he's been saying.
There's always somebody who wants to have a go at truthers, whether it's me, Charlie Ward, or Mel Kay, or Anne Vandersteel, or anybody really. There's always somebody, and either because they're misguided, or because they're a paid agent, or they've just got a devil in them. And 2 years ago, I decided to take legal action against the BBC, actually, and a couple of people. One of the persons was working with the BBC, and I won the court case. That would delight you, delighted me. And I still can't talk about it yet openly, but what I can tell you is that as part of the court's decision, the defendants, the number one defendant, has just emailed everybody that he originally put false allegations out about me. And in those emails, he's now apologised. And there's a standard apology which has been agreed with my legal team and his legal team. And so if you are one of those people who received an email from this guy, I'm not going to mention his name at the moment, you'll know if you did, accusing me of just about everything and anything. Hopefully you've got your email from him unreservedly apologising, saying he knows now it wasn't true and that he shouldn't have done it. When this is cleared fully through court, because there's another person who also was involved with him, who's disappeared, and we're having to search for him, to bring him to court again. So, we will have court evidence and documents to lay before we publicly when it's okay to do so. And so, when people say things about me, they think that on social media it's perfectly acceptable. It's not. I mean, there's a freedom of speech. You can stand on your sidewalk or your pavement and you can say anything you want about anybody nearly, but you have to be ready to prove what you say. So yes, there's free speech, but if you can't prove it, then don't be surprised if the person takes legal action against you. Now, in our industry, the truth industry, it's unheard of. We just don't do that. You get into slanging matches and people say this and that. And I've always said I'll never have trial, trial by social media.
So just to be clear, Simon, we are well aware of the one case that was brought against you, the trial that you'd been through, the legal action you'd taken, where you won this case. This case that you keep bringing up over and over and over again, as if it's some sort of vindication for everything you've been through. This case where, the Alethea Project had looked into this, Kevin Moore, and myself has been watching what's been going on, and as they said, one on a technicality, right? And you're putting forward this constantly, repeatedly, and still now I mean, how many months later this video came out? So, just a bit of background. I thought this video was about me and Marie, which is why I started it. You'll come to see that actually he may make it appear that it's about other allegations that have been brought forward since, but it's still the same one that he's hanging on to. It's still the same. I won this court case. I'm a trustworthy person. Anyone else saying anything against me, any criticisms, any evidence has been brought up, is nonsense. And that is the picture he's projecting, and that is what I'm here to say is not the case. People in his comments saying that he's vindicated of anything. It's not true. So what I will say is, if there is any other court cases, Simon, they would, and if you've won any other court cases, they will be public knowledge. They will be something that you can and should bring forward, and I implore you to show us the details of them. So look out for that, guys. Look out for, if he's saying that he's shut people up, he's won this. People are not, people are talking out their arse or whatever. Ask for the proof of that, especially when he's saying that he took them to court. Yeah. When I first watched this, I missed the part at the beginning where he said he had a case against someone who was reporting for the BBC. And then as he goes on to talk about this, I thought that he was implying, I think through all this, he's implying that anyone that said any criticism against him or, said anything that's against him, he's been vindicated of. And he's trying to say that he will take anyone to court who says anything about, bad about him, anything, dodgy about him. He will take them to court.
It's just a threat, isn't it? He's just threatening people again.
He loves threatening, but he does actually take legal action, and he has done, and he has won a court case on a technicality. Now this has been published.
I know about the case well, yeah.
However, so that happened, and it was won on a technicality, and this has been investigated and looked at. And what I would like to bring up is that he's saying about he won't go through trial by social media, and I think what he's doing here, along with his the way he is, there's very much a kind of this mass conditioning around what he does and around connecting consciousness group, and this whole. If you look in the comments of this video, they say, "Thank God that Simon, that you've done this, you've won, and now you're vindicated of any criticism."
But it's just a huge lie. It's a huge lie. He didn't win anything. And I know why he won, and you know why he won as well. And I know the two guys, I was in direct communication with them for a long time about this case. And I just felt for them. They lost it on a technicality, as I said. And I was
story.
It is really sad. And hopefully they took my advice and done a bung. I said I wouldn't give that man a penny. I'd rather go on the run. And it sounds like you can't find one of them.
What people don't understand, Marie, is we put out those. So obviously you've been talking about this for years now, and I worked with you recently. We put out some hard hitting, 2 hard hitting videos. I'll put those over the top now for people to see, and there's links in the description to go and watch that. And in fact, there'll be a link to Marie's channel where you can watch. You can go through the historic stuff around all of this. And these 2 videos that we made together, we put out and connecting lots of people in connecting consciousness saw these, questioned, got shut down.
Contacted by a lot as well, yeah.
And so was I. Both contacted by a lot of people still within the organisation, at least at the time. A lot of people within positions of power, connecting consciousness. Coordinators. And a lot of them resigned, some of them directly because of the videos we put out, some of them directly because of his response to them or lack of wanting them to be talked about, shutting down any conversation around the matter, and a lot of them for other reasons, and for which the exposure that happened from your story and your story being brought back into the limelight from the videos you made may have been a factor of that. But yes, I know of at least since those videos, I know of at least, or I've been informed about at least 12 CC
Wow,
coordinators.
that's a lot. Yeah,
That is a lot.
that's a lot. Yeah.
A big thing, and you know, we've been quiet for a while, so this is why I brought up this video. This is why I've got you here, because this seems like some sort of mass conditioning of I won that case, I'm not wrong in anything, and we'll go on to see more. But what the point I wanted to make here is that we've not been contacted.
I can categorically say I'm not being sued, never been contacted by a lawyer on his behalf, never been told, warned by the police, never been arrested. I have not got a mental disorder. What he says, the police have told him I'm mental, so don't listen to me. And they pulled this one on me when my daughter died. They said, oh, she's suffering from grief. First of all, don't listen to her. She's suffering from grief. She doesn't know what she's saying. And then it led on. This was with him and Miles Johnson together. It was one thing after the other. And I was brainwashed. I was mind controlled. And then it was, oh, she's a liar. You know, they went through everything. Then it was, oh, she's mental. So I've heard it all from them. But he's still reading off the same story from the beginning. The same stuff that he contacted the police. Well, he gave out the fake police report number. That's there for anybody to ring up the police and just say, can you please check this number for me? Is this a police record number? Has this ever existed? Is it an ongoing case? He gave out the number himself, so people can actually do that themselves. I won't give out the number. They can see it on my video and see it in his statement. So it is actually something he put on his website. And he said it in video as well. So he's given out that number. And I have me talking to the police, giving out the number, asking them, is this a report done on me? Does this number exist? And they said, the number doesn't exist.
Of course not.
So I just found it very funny and put that online. I thought, you know, this will shut him up. But he just ignores it and carries on with the lies. And he's still carrying on with the lies he was saying then.
He ignores it. He does, and when he can't ignore it, he tries his best to make everyone else ignore it. Let's not forget we've got so many people, and I'm not going to go into because I don't believe the figures he's giving around the amount of people, but there is a lot of people that's not that's twisted within the organisation of Connecting Consciousness, especially now. It has grown to unbelievable, and this is why. This is someone like I cover, especially, you know, and with Charlie Ward as well, you know, is another one that has so many people following them. But, you know, big claims require, you know, big evidence. And
you'd think, wouldn't you, though? But it doesn't with some people.
Well, people will accept these big claims without big evidence if it's something they want to hear. And this is the whole kind of hopium phenomenon that we're having now in this day and age in the last few years. I want to stop it there to say, look, we've not been contacted, and people that are following Simon, part of the Connecting Consciousness, don't believe that this, you know, what he's saying here has anything to do with our videos and with Marie's experience, and not only Marie's experience, there's many people, there's many videos that I've made, there's much evidence that I've brought forward, there's many people that are talking that don't want to come on camera yet but will, and there's much more to be said. And
this hasn't ended yet, has it? It's not ending here.
It's not even really begun. And watch this space. And Marie is kind of almost a flag bearer for people, you know what, coming forward, and people try to tell everyone else, no, she's insane. And you're not. And I've got your 6 here, Marie. And
not many people have said it. Don't go overboard.
I'm just saying
you have said it.
Yeah, no. Simon has said it, and this is what's been repeated by his crew. Is all I'm trying to say here, and that is why your evidence was dismissed by many who should be listening from Connecting Consciousness, because. Simon says.
I I shouldn't have let him get on GMTV that time. We were meant to go on GMTV after the Channel 4 program, the three of us that was in the program, and he started crying. I'm not going on there. Marie Kayali is going to be there, and I just said, "Oh, let him have his 5 minutes of fame. I'm not going on. Let him do it by himself. He wants the fame and all this 15 minutes. Let him do it." So the other lady said, "Well, if you're not going on, I'm not going on either." And I said, "Well, there you go. Let him have it." And that's where he started off then from there.
Well,
Damn
yeah,
it. That could have been me.
yeah. And the guy doesn't stop either, and you know, it just so happens today that so many people are following his.
It just shows what is in his mind from day one. And I knew, I suss people up very quick, especially when you're dealing with him direct face to face. And he was very slimy in real life to your face. And then he'd be nice in front of people to your face. So he didn't care that you saw that. This is what amazed me about him. He was so, he'd be nasty to your face, and then if someone else was there, he'd be nice, and you would think, "You've just been nasty to me 5 minutes ago, you slime." You're getting there's no. He puts you in a position where there's nothing you can say, if you know what I mean. It's really odd. He's got that knack of doing that, and you just want to punch him in the face.
It's something that I may have thought about. Anyway, let's continue to listen to.
Not a violent person at all. We're joking, of course.
We're joking, of course we are joking. I'm completely, joking around that matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's listen to the rest of what he has to say here, and then we'll just talk a bit more about it.
Yeah.
I won't have that. If someone wants to make some really nasty allegations about me, and I know they're not true, then I'll take you to court. And of course, people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that." Well, why shouldn't I? I head a spiritual organization. I'm not selling trucks. I'm not selling fast food. And, I could then just say, "Well, I don't care what people say." But members come to me sometimes and they say, "Have you seen this? Have you seen that?" And, there is an argument that if you don't defend yourself, people will say, "Well, maybe it's true," And 9 times out of 10, I'm big enough and I'll just let things go. But when these sort of allegations were made about me, and I thought, no, that's a bridge too far.
I've got to agree with him here, just on the fact that if you don't defend yourself, people may think these allegations are true.
Yeah.
2 things here. One, that's why we're making this video.
That's why I retaliated against him, because he went up and said those things and slandered me first.
Exactly.
So he better practice what he preaches, and he's got these double standards, hasn't he?
Yeah, so exactly that's the second thing is that's exactly what you did. And the third thing to think about is that he is again perhaps implying that because of this court case, ignore any of the other media, any of the other videos, people,
Or
personalities,
anything we say again,
anything around that. I have to agree with that. That's why we're here. However, I don't think that this is genuine. I know this is not genuine. This is a ploy. This is very manipulative, and what
This
you're
is
doing.
his way with words, manipulative. That's just it. He says things without actually saying them, doesn't he? And leads people to believe something. That he does it all the time. I notice that about him.
He's a clever person. However, he, in my belief, is a sinister person.
Very sinister.
Very much so is his craft. His craft is within words and manipulation, and that's what I think we're experiencing here. So
definitely,
it was a high court in London, 2 days, and I can tell you that the defendants were thrown out of court. Now, what that doesn't mean that they're physically grabbed and thrown out of court. It means that the so-called evidence they brought is of such a weak nature and just doesn't it's just nonsense that the judge says, I'm not hearing any more of this. You know, our procedures have not been followed. This is just ridiculous. And that's the end of it. So great news. And when I get the chance, I'll put that out. And I know there'll be people who say, well, you shouldn't do that. But why shouldn't I? Why would it be all right for me to have all this crap, lies said about me, and I just shrug my shoulders and walk away? You know,
I don't think there's anyone that's saying that. I don't think there's anyone out there that's saying, well, why should you? Why should you go ahead and prove you're innocent?
And what lies are there? What are the lies? I'd like to know what the lies are.
It makes no sense to me.
It's all truth as far as I can see. It shows it's rattled him anyway. He's rattled.
Definitely, but he wasn't saying this before. So when we made these videos, when I made videos previously, he had been mentioning me. Oh, guys, look out for this MSEEKER of truth. Don't listen to him. If he comes into our connected consciousness chats, he's the sneaky guy. I've never been in one of those chats, by the way. He's mentioned me before just in his community. He's never mentioned me publicly, publicly on his videos. But he mentions these people who are trying to bring him down, making videos about him and about how he's taken them to court. And he's never, again, I reiterate, taken me to court or tried that. And I believe he's not done that with myself and yourself, because he knows there is discovery around that. He knows that you have that evidence of what you're saying, and I wouldn't have made the video if you didn't have those emails and you didn't have the proof of what was going on, and video clips from the police talking to you. In fact,
there's a few clips that I haven't put on there as well. I haven't put all of them on there. I have longer ones as well.
There's more evidence. That happened, and that just needed to be brought forward. Trial by social media, he will say. Well, I suppose technically it is, but there's been many trials by social media, and even on my channel,
people have been cancelled for less. It's ridiculous how he's getting away with all this.
One word. This guy is running loads of words in an organisation.
I know.
And people should really pay attention to what is said. Trial by social media. Review the evidence. Does it need to go through court? Through a court that Simon would say, is untrustworthy, through a system that Simon would say is untrustworthy. Does it need to be vindicated, validated by such a process that even himself would not promote, for it to be evidence? Or simply, as many people that are following him are watching, their sources of evidence are YouTube videos, the internet, etc., and what they can find on alternative media.
Yeah.
So to say that you can't trust alternative media when it comes to
and you come to people like him, you trust those. This is what makes me laugh. I want the media back again. I'm going back to MSN.
Exactly. He's saying I only trust the MSN and the actual courts when it comes to the public opinion on me, and it's just silly. It's just silly. But let's listen to the rest of it.
If you head a spiritual organisation, then those membership deserve the right to know that the person that leads that organisation is not guilty of these outrageous claims that have been said.
Can you hear him?
5, 6, 7 years ago, I was in Liverpool doing a conference, and I accused some world leaders of being paedophiles. Now, the last thing they do is take me to court, because the last thing they want is Simon Parkes in court, and they then have to defend the fact that they're not a paedophile. So, of course, they would never do that. Because if you are evil, the last thing you want is the spotlight shone on you. But if you're innocent, you've got no worries. And so that's why I took these people to court and said, right, you show the judge what you're saying. And I will actually just say this: as long as I don't mention the names, there's no problem here. There was a particular so-called piece of evidence which was very nasty, and in fact, even the defendant's own QC, Queen's Counsel, said in open court, he said, "I have told my client that if he cannot prove this charge, it will lead to very extensive costs and damages against him." So that was a big moment in the court. So then the judge said, "Well, you better bring forward the evidence." And they refused to show the court the evidence. Now, I was in court all the time. They refused to show it. The so-called damning evidence, they refused to show it. So the judge then turned to my team and said, "Do you know what they're talking about?" We said, "Yes, we do. We've got copies of it because they've sent it to us." So the judge said, "Are you prepared to show it?" So my legal team had a QC, didn't even need to ask me. He said, "Yeah, of course, my lord." So the evidence was given. It took him about 2 minutes. The judge looked through it. And then his judgment was that he threw the other two out because there was no substantiating evidence at all. And so, it's important because this is a maritime court, a naval law court, and we knew that we were up against it because the deep state could jump on the backs of these two and help them and make my life an absolute hell. So it was a real gamble because we don't have common law. We've only got the system. But I thought, I've got to do it. I've literally got to do it because I owe it to the members who've been asking me. And I had to do it. And I thought, well, if God is there, God will actually make sure I win because God will go on the side of truth. And we won it, 100% total. And I'm so pleased that I did do that because, it meant that it gives comfort to the coordinators, to members. So when they hear stuff that's recycled, as it all is, then, my coordinators can say, "Oh, yeah, but actually this was dealt with in court." And people want to make statements like that. I mean, you better be prepared to prove it. Simply because I will, take action because it's important to uphold truth.
I think that was the main takeaway from the end of what he's saying here. If you're innocent, you've got nothing to worry about. And so we're here having this conversation because we're not scared, we're not intimidated, because we've not been cancelled, we've not been shut down, we've not been taken to court. I just thought
been arrested, I've been carted off to the madhouse. Police haven't arrested me.
Marie's still there.
School that he is.
I'm still here. And I think that a lot of people are taken away from his video. I mean, even when I first watched this, I missed the whole BBC thing he said at the beginning. And he said,
yeah, I think that was because they did that documentary on him, didn't they? They did something about the thing, the little thing, the USB thing he was doing. I think that was a BBC documentary. I don't think it was the BBC that took him to court. What, he's trying to mix something in there that's not true.
I mean, I know people that he's, I know several people that he's threatened with legal action.
Yeah.
And I'm in communication with them. And
it's the solicitor's letter, is it? You mean? Is that when he threatens legal action?
And I know people that were within his organisation who he is threatening legal action, and as I'm not going to go into that, but I had to question. I've been away for a few months, and I had to say, I reached out and was like, who are these two people? Because I missed these key things we saw here, which was at the beginning he said about the BBC, and then he said there was two people. I heard that part, and I thought, is he implying that that's me and you? But he said him and him, and him is missing. So he's talking about two guys. So maybe he's not talking about us, but maybe he, is he potentially saying this as a kind of throwing over a sheet on
He said there were two cases as well. There's only one that I know of. He said there were 2, didn't he?
Well, yeah. So is he trying to blanket over any allegations? I mean,
I
why are
think
so many
he's, yeah.
allegations being brought against this man? Let's stop to think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Let's stop to talk about why so many people are coming forward saying this stuff. Oh, is it because he's the messiah of information and
This is what
the
happens to
bar
them.
want to stop him? Um, come on now. Or is it because he actually is a dodgy guy running a huge organisation that is promising really out there things which actually really affect people's lives in general? And if you look at the comments on this video, so first of all, I was looking through, and there was a couple of people on there. I can't remember who it was, and I was looking, and I wasn't signing on YouTube. There's some people there that said, "Go and watch MSEEKER's stuff," and that wasn't deleted. And whoever did that, thank you. And if I find that comment again, I went to go and reply on it, and I wasn't signed into YouTube. I tried to sign in, and it resent me to the beginning, and there's thousands of comments there.
Yeah.
So whoever that was, thank you so much. I was looking for people saying, "Oh, it's MSEEKER." And someone was saying it was Jaco. So I made a video about Michael Jaco and said that he's a baddie and a vampire.
I've known this for a while, guys. I've known this for a long time. Because someone else told me that this particular person had psychically attacked them and tried to rape them. And I'm like, how does that happen? But I know that this stuff goes on. And I was told by this person who's a psychic that it's not only happened to her, it's happened to many women, that this person is a vampire in certain realms, right? So yeah, Simon Parkes, I know it's going to hurt, but a baddie, right?
Someone said that it was him. So I'm thinking, what, in the British courts? I mean, he says something like, well, that's why they've gone quiet on social media.
Is it not the 2 guys that originally the first court case? I mean, the original one, are they the ones he's talking about, maybe?
I think it must be. But why is he talking about that now? And he's saying he can't share those details.
Yeah.
I mean, this was wrapped up how long ago? 8 months ago?
A few months, yeah. It's a few months now.
Well,
I haven't heard anything from the guys
years.
after that, actually. I was in contact with them for quite a while, but I haven't heard anything for months from them.
So then I'm wondering that if he's bringing this up now, whether he's trying to imply it's a separate... It's all mind games, a separate court.
This is it. I think he's trying to imply...
people that are no longer on social media. I've been absent for 2 months. I have been constant before then for 2 years.
Yeah.
And some of the last things that I put out was those explosive exposés.
The last videos.
There were some of the last videos, and he got a lot of flack for that. And I disappear for nearly 2 months.
Yeah.
What an opportunity. And, will I come back? Well, whatever. That's what it looked like to me. However, it does look like he's putting broad strokes over. It does look like, after watching it the second time with you, that perhaps he wasn't talking about us, but it could so easily be construed as he was. And if you look in the comments, people are just saying, "I'm so glad all the recent allegations against you." All the recent allegations, these allegations must have been a long time ago. No, we're the recent allegations. We've not disappeared. We are still here. We're still talking. And it's not us. And the person that I was talking to, the reason I brought up the court case, the current legal threats that are going out and potential court cases, is the person that I spoke to has said, so what was your experience and legal action, and what happened with you so far from your interactions with Simon? Nothing. Nothing. I've got he said some stuff online about me, and obviously me about him. Nothing. And he was like, so he's not threatened. What is it? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. And and I think that's for an obvious reason. If he wants to come after me, he's got nothing to come after me.
Exactly.
For what? And if he does, and he tries to go down that route, it's going to push out a lot, because what I've talked about is going to push out a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm talking about the fact that he's talking about these med beds, etc.
It's
Okay,
not
so
a
you're going to go to
crime.
court,
It's not
talk
against
about
the
how
law.
Clipbed next week, and how you're involved in the QFS, and how it's the monitors, and how you're working for Donald Trump's team or whatever. Are you going to go and do that and talk about that in court and give evidence for that?
That's the thing. I think. Oh, I can't really talk about the other case. I better not.
No, we're
They
trying to
went
be
down the wrong
respectful of other
road.
people.
Yeah, they
But
went
he
down the
does
wrong road.
represent people, doesn't he, with legal action?
Yeah. I mean, if it was me, I'd have a whole different approach. I'd go into court proving he was a Looney Tune and proving every single thing he said was a lie. And that wouldn't be very hard to do for me,
No,
because
not at all.
it wouldn't be very hard to do to prove a lot of the stuff he says is lies. So
If I was taken
that's
to
what I
court, I've
would.
got a
I
whole
wouldn't.
network of people that want to speak out against him, including
Yeah.
yourself. So I'd have some people behind me to bring forward talk about this.
Yeah.
You know, you think that I put detail in my videos? Imagine if you took me to court.
Oh well, I think that's what he's frightened. That's what he's frightened of. Somebody like you as well, or me, who can do these kind of things, and I'm not intimidated by the law, by being sued for telling the truth. It doesn't intimidate me at all. And if he wants to sue me, he can sue me. I'm ready for him. He knows that. I've told him that before. Sue me. I'm waiting.
We're
He's
here. We're not
never.
going away,
Sorry.
and we are here to be flag bearers for the truth, to speak out where other people are scared to, and to do good in this world. And
Try to do it, yeah.
we're both here, aren't we, Marie? And
Yeah.
got channels about this, and we've been doing this for years, trying to look into the truth, hidden truths, conspiracy theory, stuff on similar sort of planes. So a lot of people that are following this guy, and what it comes down to is we need to look out for not only our own as in humankind, but our own who are in these circles and could be easily misled.
There's too many people, too many vulnerable people, and so many people being misled. And like you said, we're doing our bit to try and make sure that's as minimum as possible, and calling these charlatans out for what they really are. And you're doing a fantastic job. I meant to do a little response video to thank you and thank all your subs. You've got an amazing group of, people, followers and things. They were all so nice and had some amazing comments. I tried to answer as many as I could, but there was so many. So I really appreciated that at the time with the Simon Parkes videos. It was great. It was just so different to when I did it last time. I had all the Parkes people on me, so you can imagine how different that was.
You got ganged up on. It's great community. My community, other communities that support us. And Marie, you were in a position where you have got vast experience in these fields. You have been doing this a long time, and you have this direct and this whole situation that happened where you are directly involved, and you are in a position to help people. And all I've done is
I'm glad to if I can.
And you've done a fantastic job, and people need to thank you for your courage and coming forward and not taking any crap. I really appreciate you, and I was so happy that you wanted to work with me. When I approached you.
Thanks very much for saying that. I appreciate that.
I really was that you had said you'll do a good job of it, and I like you working up behind you, and we'd been talking before that. So all I really did was gave you my platform, and
which was tremendous. It was a great help. I haven't really. I've had so many channels taken down in the past for strikes.
That's the thing, and that is kind of the way of the world these days, and it is an absolute shame. People need to hear you, and. I did my bit around. It took a lot of editing. I did work really hard on those videos. Don't get me wrong.
You did a great job.
I'm so glad they had the impact they did, and I'm so glad
that's why we did them. Yeah, great, really good.
And an Intel lady as well, providing.
She's brilliant. Yeah,
she's brilliant. And the responsibility
I love her stuff.
Sharing it around, and how those that evidence, the work that we did, really did hit a nerve and get in there with into this organisation and expose, and that's what it's all about.
Brilliant.
Marie, any final words to say on this matter while I've got you here today?
Not really. It's just I wanted to say thank you for doing the videos and to assure people that we're still here. I'm still here. You're still here. Again, I'm not being sued. Haven't been spoken to by the police. They've never warned me not to talk about Simon Parkes. I'm free to do whatever I want, and he knows I'm telling the truth, and he won't never sue me. He'll never sue me. I'll bet my life on that because he knows what will happen if I get him into court. And
yeah, how about that? Because people are saying, well, that's why they disappeared. That's why, and we knew you were right all along. And, these people, they won't last long. Trial by social media, whatever.
No, the truth never dies, does it? Truth never goes away. All the bullshit comes and goes. But the truth, you can never bury it. It'll always come back. It'll always be there and always stand. This is what I stand for anyway. This is why I don't tell lies, never told lies. Nobody can ever catch me out in a lie ever in my whole life. I hate liars.
When the truth is your shield, you have nothing to worry about.
It always is, and you can never, you'd always stand tall when you tell the truth. And that's one thing I can say.
Great words, Marie. I really appreciate you coming on again. And just to reiterate, this video was about showing that, and I think that needed to be done. We're still here. Don't think we've gone away, and don't think that Simon has scared us off. He hasn't, and he won't. And we're still here. We're not going away. We're like a bad smell for these.
Yeah, just busy. Life takes over sometimes. Both busy. Yeah.
It was great to reconnect with you, Marie. Thank you very much for your time.
It really was with you too. Glad to see you back as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for listening. I've been MSEEKER Truth. I've been here with Marie Kayali. The links to her channel will be in the description of the video. Thank you so much, Marie. And until next time.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you next time.